There are moments in our lives when we stop looking for answers in the outside world because we realize that all the answers we have been chasing, fame, knowledge, religion, philosophy, even the promises of happiness, disappear like dew in the sun. And then, one day, the true practitioner begins to turn inward. That is when the question, "Who am I?" appears like a lightning bolt piercing the fog of ignorance that has enveloped us for ages. That question is not to be answered with words. It is a torch that shines into the darkness of the ego. It is a knife that cuts through the layers of illusions about me that we have built since birth. It is a door that opens into the stillness where the true self resides, unborn, undying. When I reread Ramana Maharshi's teachings, I sometimes feel as if he is not speaking to humanity, but directly to my heart. The seeker need not go anywhere. Turn within and ask, "Who is the seeker?" That one sentence alone is enough to disintegrate the illusions of a strenuous spiritual path. He reminds us that awakening is not in the future. It is our natural state, right here, right now. And why is this age, an age of busyness, of distraction, of information overload, so much more necessary than "Who am I?" Because never before has the human mind been so fragmented. Never before has the ego of exaggeration, the ego of fear, of competition, been so dominant. Never before has man been so far from his true nature as he is today. Self-inquiry is not just a technique. It is the map back home. It is the simplest yet most profound path to staying awake in the midst of a turbulent life. The nature of the question, "Who am I?" The wisdom of Ramana. If you think "Who am I?" is just a philosophical question, forget it immediately. For Ramana Maharshi, it is the spear that pierces the ego, the most quintessential and direct technique of returning to the source. No rituals, no mantras, no attempts to attain any special state, just pure inquiry. 1. The origin of self-inquiry. Ramana did not invent "Who am I?" He simply experienced directly what the Upanishads have said for ages. Know yourself, and you will know the entire universe. At the age of 16, in the moment of facing death, Ramana abandoned himself to this question not with words, not with reason, but with a total surrender. What is dying? Who is watching death? In a moment, he realized, "I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am the pure presence that is witnessing everything." That is when self-inquiry became his path. 2. Why is this question superior to all other techniques? Other meditation techniques usually guide the practitioner, observing the breath, focusing on the body, reciting a mantra, observing the flow of thoughts, relaxing the body. All these are good, but they operate on the surface of the mind. "Who am I?" goes straight to the root of the person watching. It does not calm the mind. It disillusions the mind. 3. Who am I? Not Western ego philosophy. Western philosophy tries to define I in language. Self-inquiry does not define anything. It just backs you into a corner, makes it impossible for the ego to escape into any thought, and forces it to disintegrate. 4. The false ego and the true I. The I we are used to living with is just memories, emotions, roles, self-images, beliefs, reactions. All are impermanent and borrowed. But the real I, Atman, is still, knowing, not born, not destroyed, not dependent on body and mind, unchanging even though the world turns. The ego is shadow. I am light. Self-inquiry is the process of realizing that. 5. Common misunderstandings about who am I. Many people practice wrongly because they try to answer with the mind, try to imagine a special state, try to wait for mystical experience, try to silence the mind. Ramana teaches, no answer is needed. Just return to the one who is asking. How to practice "Who am I?" meditation correctly. Self-inquiry meditation is not a mental exercise. It is a surgery of the mind. You do not grind enlightenment by effort. You only cut through illusion to see the true nature that is already bright. To practice correctly, we need to understand the structure of this method. Simple, straight, but sharp as a diamond. 1. Preparation, posture, breath, space. Ramana Maharshi often said, "Posture is not important." But for beginners, preparation helps the mind to be less distracted. You can sit up straight, comfortably. Close your eyes gently. Breathe naturally, without forcing. Let the body fall into a state of relaxation. No need for candles. No need for music. No need for rituals. All it takes is honesty and a mind that is willing to face itself. The most important thing is the space within, not without. 2. The 3 stages of self-inquiry. Stage 1. Recognizing the arising of thoughts. Thoughts always arise. What should I do tomorrow? Why are they saying this to me? Am I good enough? Ordinary people run after them. Meditators observe them. Ramana inquirers trace their source. When thoughts arise, you don't chase them, you don't fight them. You just ask, who is having this thought? The moment you ask, the thought is cut off from its source. There is no more energy to nourish it. Stage 2. Returning to the root of I. When you ask, who is thinking? The mind immediately draws back from 1,000 directions to one point. The pure feeling of I. People often wonder, I am returning to myself, and yet I feel as if I am disappearing? Yes, because the I you see is just an ego feeling, not the real self. Stage 3. Abiding in the state of pure I am. When all thoughts dissolve, only the feeling of presence remains. I am present. This is not a statement. It is not a thought. It is the original, nameless life. Ramana called this self-awareness, the awareness of being itself. You don't need to hold on to it. You just don't leave it. 3. The golden rule. Don't chase thoughts, just investigate. You never confront thoughts. You don't try to chase them away either. You cut off their source. When you ask, who is thinking this? The thought disappears just as darkness disappears when a light is turned on. You don't have to fight with darkness. Ramana said, thought exists only when you believe it is yours. The question who destroys that belief. 4. How to return to the pure point of I. Imagine your mind as a room. Every thought is a guest knocking on the door. The ordinary person opens the door and talks. The person practicing self-inquiry simply asks, where is this guest coming from? You trace it back. You look at the door instead of at the guest. When you look at the door long enough, you realize that every guest comes from a single point, the point of I. But that point of I, when you look deeply into it, has no form, no place. It is just the idea of I. And when that notion dissolves, you touch the real me, the ground of all experience. 5. What happens when you practice correctly? Not a mystical experience, not a beam of light or a strange sound, not a trance. The truth is very simple. The mind becomes calm without effort. A lightness permeates the body. Emotional reactions are greatly reduced. You are no longer attached to thoughts. You see things more clearly and deeply. A quiet peace spreads from within. You see I as just an idea, not an entity. And most importantly, you are no longer afraid, because fear only belongs to the ego. When the ego dissolves, fear has no basis to exist. Living awake in the middle of life with meditation, who am I? Meditation is not about leaving life. Meditation is about going back, living more fully, understanding more, loving more. Self-inquiry does not lock you in a cave. It illuminates the world you live in. 1. Awakening is not escaping life. Many people misunderstand. To be enlightened, you have to leave society. Ramana never taught that. He said, the world is just a reflection of the mind. If the mind is quiet, the world becomes sacred. You do not need to leave the city. You just need to leave the illusion. In the midst of the bumpy stream of life, self-inquiry becomes an anchor, helping you not to be swept away by emotions, drama, noise, and conflict. 2. When emotions arise, ask who is angry, who is sad. This is the most practical power of this meditation. When someone hurts you, normally you react immediately, but self-inquiry practitioners do something else. They turn inward and ask, who is feeling offended? That question dissolves all emotional energy, not because you suppress it, but because you see that the offended self is not real. Anger, hurt, disappointment only cling to the ego. When the ego has no support, emotions dissipate like the wind. 3. Application in work, money, relationships. Self-inquiry helps you live in the world without being bound by it. When work is stressful, ask, who is stressed? When someone praises you, ask, who is being praised? When you fail, ask, who failed? When you succeed, ask, who succeeded? You will discover a miracle. All successes and failures, gains and losses happen in the mind, not related to the real self. This does not make you insensitive. On the contrary, you become calmer, more clear-minded, not caught up in drama, not afraid of other people's judgments, not drained of energy. You act from stillness, not from ego. 4. How to stay mindful in the midst of chaos. There is a very powerful technique derived from Ramana's own teachings. When the mind is distracted, return to the feeling of I am. It only takes 2 to 3 seconds. No questions, no reasoning. Just return to pure presence. A feeling of presence without content. That is the root of mindfulness. Outside chaos cannot reach you when you are in that root. Ramana said, when you cling to the source, thoughts cannot drag you away. You keep the light within even when life is stormy. 5. When suffering comes, self-inquiry is the lamp of the soul. Life will always have separation, injury, illness, old age, loss, failure. But suffering can only enter when you cling to the ego. Self-inquiry frees you from the very thing that is hurting. When you ask, who is hurting? You will see that the pain is not really mine. The pain is only in the body-mind, not touching the immortal essence. And from there you live in the midst of life with steadfastness, equanimity, compassion, wisdom. You become a light for yourself, and then for others. The essence of knowledge, the essence of Ramana Maharshi. None of Ramana's teachings were lengthy. He only imparted direct insight into the truth, simple yet penetrating like sunlight penetrating the mist. Here are the essential insights that any practitioner should keep in mind. 1. The first truth. The self is never born and never dies. Ramana said, whatever is born will die. Seek that which has never been born. The body is born, the body dies. Emotions are born, emotions die. Thoughts are born, thoughts die. But there is one thing that is never born, never dies. The pure presence that knows everything. This cannot be learned from books. It can only be seen through direct insight. 2. The second truth. Thought is the root of the self. Ramana teaches, the self is just a thought. The first thought is I. When the thought, I, arises, all other thoughts arise. I want, I fear, I like, I hate, I hurt. If the thought, I, is cut through with self-inquiry, the entire ego structure collapses. That is why the question, who am I, is the knife that cuts the root of illusion. 3. The third truth. The mind cannot know the self. Ramana says, the mind can only know objects. The self is not an object. You cannot find the real self like you find an object. You can only return. Like a wave cannot find the ocean, it can only realize that it is the ocean. 4. The fourth noble truth. Silence is the supreme teaching. Many asked Ramana, "Master, why are you always silent?" He replied, "Silence is the language of truth. In deep silence, there is not nothing, but all truths are revealed. Clarity, peace, unity. Silence is the invisible hand of Buddha, God, Brahman, Tao." 5. The fifth noble truth. There is no path because you are already at the destination. Many people are confused. How can I reach the truth? Ramana replied, I am already there. The path is only for those who go to another place. But the truth is right here, in this moment. Only the ego thinks it is searching. The self does not move. 6. The sixth truth. All you need to do is to investigate the source of thought. No complicated meditation, no rituals, no lengthy chanting. Just one thing. Return to the source of thought. When the source is found, thought stops. When thought stops, the ego disappears. When the ego disappears, only the infinite self remains. This is the shortest, most direct route.